Health, Dr. Osage Ehanire, is discussing with agencies managing disasters and emergency response for better coordination ahead of government plan to restore primary health care centers facilities across the country. He was at the National Emergency Management Agency NEMA office in Abuja for talks. Emmanuel Ayimero tells us more.
Whenever it occurs in the country, Minister of State for Health says is poor handling of disaster which further compound health concern of victims. The minister acknowledged that NEMA has done a lot in disaster management, particularly in the northeast, riddled with insurgent activities. He therefore wants to engage the police, civil defense, Federal Road Safety Corps, and the volunteers on best way to handle victims in time of disaster.
As far as the emergency cases, they will receive full treatment that will include the referral to a higher level and be handled as if they have paid, because payment will be guaranteed from the fund that we are looking at setting up. So these are the areas in which we believe that there is room to coordinate emergency health delivery and response.
We also believe that it is time to have a coordinated response, to have proper coordination, harness all the assets that we have, and to be able to respond effectively and efficiently.
In another development, representatives from the World Economic Summit Group is partnering NEMA on how to harness the advantages in public-private partnership on emergency response.
Health crises and emergencies in general, the power of private sector as collaborators in emergency response is sometimes underutilized.
The group is in Nigeria, expected to be in Liberia, Guinea and Mali to promote public-private partnership for effective emergency response. In Abuja, Emmanuel Ayimero, NTA News.
Now, evolving workable policies through incorporation of security as a component of global tourism standards took center stage at the ongoing United Nations World Tourism Organization for Africa Conference in Abidjan, Côte d'Ivoire. Now, details of this report will be brought to you much later. And from our Lagos Network Center, Governor Ambode receives Chief of Air Staff. Jennifer brings us details of this and more. Jennifer, it's good to see you.
Good to see you too, Joseph. Good evening and a warm welcome to Lagos. Winning the war against insurgency requires the continuous provision of logistics capable of enhancing the superior air power for Nigeria Air Force, Nigeria Air Force Chief Marshal Sadiq Abubakar made this known when he took a tour of facility in Lagos to assess the combat readiness of the Nigerian Air Force. Lindenike reports.
Abubakar Sadiq inspected the avionics overhauled center, where he expressed satisfaction at the installation of the test benches. Other facilities and logistics inspected include altitude direction indicator, autopilot amplifier, the ATC transponder, and the C-130H aircraft rotables, which were recently upgraded.
Lagos is the logistic base of the Air Force, and no matter how excellent an operational plan is, if the logistics is not there to back it up, it will run into difficulties.
The Chief of Air Staff later gave an update on the successes recorded so far in the war against insurgency in the northeastern part of the country.
If you compare the situation in 2014 or beginning of 2015 even to what the situation is today, you will certainly you will certainly agree with me that there's a world of difference. In those years, Boko Haram was moving in convoys of vehicles, 15, 20 vehicles, moving from one village to the other, killing people. I'm sure you will agree with me that such a thing is not happening again.
Air Marshal Abubakar Sadiq emphasized that efforts are being intensified to ensure that professionalism and combat readiness of the Air Force are given utmost priority. In Lagos, Lynn Lenake, NTA News.
Now, Lagos State Governor Akinwumi Ambode has emphasized the need for a closer collaboration between the state government and the Nigerian Air Force in order to intensify air surveillance on Lagos waterways and to fish out criminals in their hideouts. Governor Ambode made this known when the Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Sadiq Abubakar, paid him a courtesy visit at the Lagos House, Ikeja. Nosa Usula reports.
According to Governor Akinwumi Ambode, the call became imperative considering the recent approval for purchase of surveillance helicopters by President Muhammadu Buhari to the Air Force. He also acknowledged the fact that there has been a very cordial relationship between the state government and the Nigerian Air Force and expressed readiness not only to enhance the relationship but also improve on it.
This particular administration is very, very sensitive
to ensure that the land use charge is paid, while commending property owners who had been reaching out to the ministry to effect timely payments of their land use charge fees. The commissioner affirmed that the state government has provided a complaint center to resolve taxpayers' complaints on the land use charge.
A land use charge assessment appeal tribunal and a complaint center have been established and armed with seasoned professionals to promptly address any issues that may arise. Further information is available to taxpayers by calling the hotline 767, which is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Mr. Akinkunmi also noted that it is by performing this civic responsibility in a timely manner that the government can readily execute its own mandate of providing public goods and services to its citizens. In Lagos, Nosa Osula, NTA News.
Now, those are the top stories at this hour from Lagos. Back to Joseph in Abuja for the continuation of nationwide news.
Jennifer from our Lagos Network Center there. To security matters now, the Nigerian Army is intensifying combat training for officers and soldiers in a command post exercise named Operation Shirin Harbin at Al-Kaleri Forest, Bauchi State. Defense correspondent Mohammed Abdul Qadri brings us details.
A simulation of real battle scenario as the troops roll out armored tanks in a show of force to dare the terrorists. The exercise layout surveyed by the Deputy Governor, Bauchi State, the Chief of Defense Staff and Chief of Army Staff took into account contemporary maneuverability and operability to summon threats by terrorists.
We have had pockets of threats from the security angle, and this particular exercise has given us more hope that our people can now live in peace.
But at exercise of this nature, the correct appointments are utilized and the correct people are employed, so you discover that the kind of output is quite commendable.
This exercise has further brought the best in the Nigerian Army. You can see the equipment that have been lying waste for so many years, but we brought them to life.
Through mapping the assumed position and presence of the adversaries in Al-Kalari Forest General Area was analyzed for offensive operations by various detachments and attachments.
Operation Shirin Harbin, meaning readiness to shoot, is a pre-NASER 2016 training exercise designed to improve operational efficiency of the troops when deployed to the main theater of Operation Lafia Dole. From Al-Kaleri General Area of the exercise, Muhammad Abdul Qadri, NTA News.
And as troops rescue more hostages from Boko Haram, the trauma and agony they are passing through is engaging the attention of stakeholders from within and outside the country. It is against this background that the Counseling Association of Nigeria, in collaboration with Network of Civil Society Organization, held capacity workshop for para-counselors in Maiduguri. Correspondent Pauline Kujevana reports.
Borno State is the worst hit by the Boko Haram insurgency, thereby engaging the attention of government and non-governmental organizations within and outside the country to assist in ameliorating the hardship of activities of the insurgents, leave victims to psychological trauma, which the workshop by the Counseling Association of Nigeria seeks to address.
We can help to rehabilitate abductors, the Chibok girls, and any other person that have been released and freed from the insurgents. The trauma and how that the counseling association can provide professional service in helping them to overcome the trauma.
The abduction of the Chibok schoolgirls attracted the attention of local and international bodies in a war that also killed more than 400 teachers that is grossly underreported by the media. Speakers, including the former Vice-Chancellor of the University of Maiduguri, Professor Mala Daura, said the workshop is to equip the participants with skills on how best to ameliorate traumatic conditions of the victims of insurgency. Papers presented at the workshop include developing basic counseling process skills by NGOs and para-counselors by Professor Bula Makago, post-traumatic stress disorder by Professor Elizabeth Omotunde, while Professor Alfred Adegoke talked on how to manage and treat post-traumatic stress disorder. The workshop featured presentation of study materials to commemorate the Chibok schoolgirls' abduction 2 years ago. In Maiduguri, Paul and Kujovana, NTA News.
We sincerely do apologize for the poor audio quality in some parts of that report. PDP National Chairman inaugurates Yobe Caretaker Committee. These and more in just a moment. Stay with us.
If you hear a bomb explosion or gunshots of an active shooter, that might be a terror attack. At such times, always remember 3 action words: run, hide, report. Don't try to run towards the terror scene to save the situation, because there might be a second bomb blast or another attack. Run far away and take cover. Make sure you are safe first. Yes, it is in our nature to sympathize over the hurt, but remember, only trained personnel can help in such situations. When in a secured environment, promptly call relevant authorities and help will come. For anonymous reporting, call 09630-3250-5 or 0813-2222-106. If you see something, say something. Nigeria unite against terrorism. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
We must remain steadfast in our commitment to steer this country back to greatness.
He is one of the best brands that we have as a country, and we have to take advantage of that.
Look inwards and see how we'll be able to enhance our resources.
The problem of Nigeria is man-made. It's just a question of patience and cooperate with the government. Nigeria will go back to those better days.
The man who's leading us, he wouldn't talk much, but he does a lot.
We shall deliver security, jobs, and infrastructure. This is the right of all Nigerians. Our actions will speak for us.
Now, you can hold that dream occasion without stress. Horizon Caterers will provide answers to all your catering questions. Exquisite hall designs, mouth-watering and nourishing local and continental cuisine, suitable for all types of ceremonies, including weddings, AGMs, business luncheon, cocktails. Name it, we can bring it. Our chefs and executive waiters give your guests that unforgettable experience in service. Our service covers all states of the Federation. Call us today to book your occasions. 0805-502-9637, 0803-450-9726, 0909-9708-111. Horizon Caterers. Experience catering beyond the horizon.
Across Nigeria, there are more than 101 tourist and cultural destinations that can account for over 1 trillion naira in national revenues if properly harnessed. with profitable opportunities across its multiple value chain and to promote the Nigerian culture and tourism sector for optimum economic development, the Minister of Information and Culture, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, is inviting stakeholders to the 2016 National Summit on Culture and Tourism. Theme: Repositioning Culture and Tourism in a Diversified Economy. Special guest of honor, the President, Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency, President Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR. Exhibition and Gala Night, 27 April 2016, 7 p.m. Conference opening and plenaries, 28th and 29th April 2016, 8 a.m. daily. Venue, Congress Hall, Transcorp Hilton, Abuja. Signed, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Information and Culture.
Suicide bombers are not spirits. They are not ghosts. They are human beings like you and me. They live amongst us. They are your neighbors. They are your friends today, but terrorists tomorrow. So you must know your neighbor now. Security begins with you and me. Know your neighbor. Be vigilant. Be security conscious. Report suspicious persons, objects, and movements to the police and other security agencies. The security of our nation is a duty for you and me.
If you see something, say something. Nigeria unite against terrorism. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
Hello and welcome back. If you've just joined us, this is Nationwide. Let's now turn our attention to politics. The People's Democratic Party, PDP National Chairman Senator Ali Modu Sharif has inaugurated a new caretaker committee in Yobe State as part of measures toward repositioning the party nationwide. Olajide Bello reports.
And defend the Constitution of the People's Democratic Party.
Those are the newly inaugurated members of People's Democratic Party Caretaker Committee for Yobe State taking their oath of office. National Chairman of the PDP, Ali Modu Sharif, called on the committee to make transparency, accountability and fairness their watchword while discharging their duties.
And making sure that by the end of your exercise, your party, our party, is repositioned so as to face the challenges that are ahead of every one of us.
He also charged them to be dedicated and committed to his vision and mission of repositioning the PDP back to its pride of place. The chairman of the committee, Mohammed El Yaqub, reiterated their commitment towards working for the progress of the party at the state and federal level.
We know the task ahead of us, but I promise you will not let you down.
The newly inaugurated PDP Caretaker Committee for Yobe State has 9 members. Olajide Bello, NTA News.
Mobile blood clinic launched in Ibadan. Funke is standing by with details of these and other stories from that axis. Funke, I hope you contribute to blood donation.
Thank you, Joseph. Good afternoon and welcome to Ibadan. To increase the capacity of blood bank in Nigeria, a mobile blood donor clinic has been inaugurated by the National Blood Transfusion Service. Correspondent Femi Afolabi reports that the facility was donated by some non-governmental organizations to enhance blood collection and supply.
Blood banking in Ibadan and the entire southwest Nigeria is expected to be more accessible and efficient with the inauguration of the mobile blood clinic. The exercise was directed by the Oyo State Governor Abiola Ajimobi, who was represented by Soji Eniade, Head of Service of Oyo State.
That government should ensure that the bus does not break down. And that message is going to be delivered to His Excellency, because the facility actually is for the benefit of the people of Oyo State, right? We are the first beneficiaries.
Coordinator, National Blood Transfusion Service, and others at the event commended the initiative.
Certainly it will increase. By so doing, if we do that routinely, we will increase the number of blood donations per day, per week, per month, per year, and eventually we might meet the needs of this nation.
Nigerians are willing, but sometimes they are unable for other reasons to pay their way to a collection center. And we thought if we take the collection to where they are, perhaps that will help.
First time. And I hope to do more. No, there's no any side effect. I do it voluntarily.
The agency urged individuals to voluntarily donate blood regularly to save lives. In Ibadan, Femi Afolabi, NTA News.
The 34th session of the Council of Methodist Bishops has opened in Ibadan with a call on Nigerians to support the present administration to deliver its electioneering promises. Prelate of the Methodist Church of Nigeria, His Eminence Samuel Chukwuemeka, declared the session open. Olumide Eguntola has the details.
The prelate, Methodist Church Nigeria, His Eminence Samuel Chukwuemeka, said Nigerians should be thankful to God for his mercies that kept Nigeria as one indivisible nation, despite a series of predictions that Nigeria will cease to be. He promised Nigerians that the church will use the bishops' gathering to provide solutions to challenges facing the country, but advised that Nigerians should support President Muhammadu Buhari's change mantra.
Very soon, with the passing of the budget, signing of the budget appropriation bill, that we will enjoy the dividends of democracy.
Archbishop of the Archdiocese of Ibadan, Most Reverend Kehinde Stephen, and other eminent personalities at the event comment.
We have to first believe in Nigeria, believe in our unity.
My plan and my view for Nigeria is that the president and his cabinet should really need to sit down again and reevaluate their ideology.
This country will definitely get over its problems.
Let everybody have personal relationship with God.
The 34th Council of Bishops of Methodist Church is an obligatory role for all bishops and archbishops of the church across the country. In Ibadan, Olumide Eguntola, NTA News.
Now, the Kwara State government has commenced the fiscal verification of workers and pensioners in the state and those of local government councils in the state. The state governor, Abdul Fattah Ahmed, said the database from the exercise will enhance proper planning for economic and human capital development of the state. Abdul Hafiz Alaya completes the report.
The verification exercise, which is to ascertain certified workers and pensioners in the 16 local government councils and state level, is expected to end irregularities in the payment of salaries and pensions. Governor Ahmed, who inspected the process of accreditation and data capturing, explained that the exercise will provide a reliable database for the state to properly cater for the welfare of our workforce. According to him, lack of proper data has impeded planning process in the past and consequently affects salary payments, especially at the local government level.
So with this data capturing, it will not only enable us to do proper financial planning for the civil servants, especially with respect to growth and development, and of course, retirement.
The exercise is expected to last till 20th of May 2016. In Ilorin, Abdulhafiz Alaya, NTA News.
And that's it from Ibadan. It's back to you, Joseph, for more on News Nationwide.
Thank you, Funke. To the education sector now, the standard of university education in the country can be improved upon if appointment of head of institutions is based on merit and integrity. The Executive Secretary of the National University Commission, NYSC, Professor Julius Okoje, canvassed for this position while receiving Cevicom compliance evaluation reports on 6 universities. Edina Justice reports that this brings the total number of universities so evaluated to 24.
Professor Julius Okoje, while elaborating on factors that affect service delivery in the nation's educational institutions, says lack of mentorship, integrity, family values and fundings are major hindrance. He adds that the National University Commission is already taking steps to address some of these problems.
Parochialism will mean that instead of giving job to those who qualify, you don't give to them. Leadership, you choose a version law, which is not the best because it comes from that side. Quality of service will be poor. We had 12 new universities. What we did was we chose people from their outside their geopolitical zone. Advertise only the best that can come there.
The report shows that out of the 6 universities evaluated, the Federal University of Technology, Akure, scored 55% to come first. The universities were evaluated using Servicom Index, policy commitment, delivery, customer satisfaction, organizational effectiveness, accountability, and innovations.
We also noticed that a lot of the complaints, students are not encouraged to make complaints when services fail. The 24 already evaluated university, plus additional 6 we have just evaluated. We want them to work and sustain service improvement as an organizational culture.
The report notes absence of service charter, customer care policy, and improper means of identification of both students and staff as common trends. Edina Justice, NTA News.
In the meantime, the Minister of Youth and Sports, Solomon Dalong, has called for sustenance of the National Youth Service Corps scheme to ensure that the mindset of youths are positively changed for a better Nigeria. Dalong made the declaration at the official valedictory visit by the outgoing Director General NYSC, Brigadier General Johnson Olawumi, who was accompanied to the Minister's office by his successor, Brigadier General Sule Kazaure in Abuja. The minister described the outgoing DG as an officer who is a good representative of the military and urged his successor, Brigadier General Kazaure, to be focused, fair and just to all.
We are determined to face and pull down anything that could prevent us from moving until we lay a solid foundation for a great nation.
You have been very, very supportive. You've shown keen interest in the affairs of the scheme.
The minister disagreed with critics who said that Nigeria has no leadership training establishment, noting that the NYSC scheme is a foremost leadership training institution. Katsina State government to complete various water projects in the state. Suleiman in Kaduna has details of these and other stories from that center. Suleiman.
Joseph, and welcome to Kaduna. Governor Aminu Bello Masari of Katsina State says the present administration in the state will give priority to the completion of various water projects to ameliorate the suffering of the people and encourage all year-round farming. The governor said this in an interview with NTA News. Commenting on a wide range of socio-economic issues affecting the state, Governor Aminu Bello Masari said government has awarded contract for the rehabilitation and completion of the Ajiwa water treatment plant built decades ago. The aim, he said, is to enable the waterworks provide maximum potable water it is designed to provide.
It is only when we have this, we know now Ajiwa can produce a certain number million of liters per day. That's the maximum. Then our next phase is how do we find funding for Zobe, which is the ultimate goal of supplying Katsina with sufficient water.
Governor Aminu Bello Masari said efforts have been intensified to source funds for the actualization of the second phase of the ongoing Zobe Regional Water Project that will provide potable water to 8 local government areas in the state. He appealed for continued federal government intervention to hasten its completion.
The federal government has awarded contract for phase 1, phase 2, and the contractor has not been mobilized. So we hope with this budget, the contractor will be mobilized and he goes back to site. And the phase 1 that was handed over to the government is the one that we are looking and talking to some international financiers to see how we can finance phase 1 of Zobe.
The governor explained that when completed, the projects will also boost irrigation farming and sanitation across the states. Discussants at an interactive session emphasized the need for Nigerians to adopt traditional system of administration in conflict resolution and the fight against corruption. The interactive was between the Director General Center for Black African Arts and Civilization, Dr. Ferdinand Anikwe, and members of Zazzau Emirate Council. Sagir Muhammad Awal reports.
While intimating the Director General on the traditional system of governance in the Emirate, Dr. Bello Muhammad Salankin Zazzau noted that much needs to be emulated from the system for the survival of the country.
Anybody that
belongs to a community, has been living in that community. He had been subjected to all that is happening within that community. He rose up among his parents. He's seen his parents respecting the traditional leadership.
Emir of Zazzau, Aleshew Idris, emphasized the need for the preservation of the country's cultural norms and values that the nation is known for.
One people, and we try as much as possible to promote unity and better understanding among all Nigerians. We welcome anybody wishing to come and stay with us.
The Director General also interacted with the management of Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, where issues on how to conduct intensive research on the true African arts and culture were discussed.
We felt that our culture has been very rich, even before the emergence of Usman Dan Fodio, even before the colonialism.
What I can assure you is that it's not late. With people like you and this kind of concern, I think it is not too late to begin to revive.
Dr. Pikwe sought for collaboration with relevant stakeholders in bringing the past glory of Africa. In Zaria, I'm Sagir Muhammad Awal, NTA News.
A 4-day regional-based human rights train-the-trainers workshop for instructors from Nigeria police training institutions gets underway in Kaduna. The thrust of the workshop is changing the perception of the Nigeria police in the area of promotion of human rights. Austin Anyebe has the details.
The issue of promotion and protection of human rights in Nigeria became a focus of discourse about a decade now, stemming from reported alleged cases of human rights abuses by the police. This led to a bilateral agreement between Nigeria and the Swiss government to partner in the training of members of the Nigerian police force.
I believe it's very important to cooperate with countries, that we address together as partners all the issues, and that we raise the capacity of the state, also of the civil society, to address all those issues.
The Inspector General of Police in Nigeria, represented by the AIG in charge of training and development, Olufemi Adenaike, said the program on changing of the training manuals of the police training institutions on the promotion and protection of the human rights came as a result of reports of several committees on the violation of human rights.
It has to be a gradual process. We started from the east, we came to Lagos, we are now in Kaduna for the northern region. We are going gradually, and it's still on.
The Executive Director, Power and Project Coordinator, Nigerian Police Human Rights Training Project, Dr. Uju Agomo, and Dr. Otive Ibuzo of the African Center for Leadership, Strategy and Development, as well as Project Manager, German International Cooperation, Sigrun and Strodi, said much knowledge on human rights protection have been impacted on members of the police force since 2011 when the program took off.
To begin to change this pattern by providing the knowledge base for every police officer on what good policing is, what are the international standards in relation to policing.
You cannot give what you don't have. And so we are very, very hopeful that within the next few years, the Nigerian citizens will see the change in the police force in terms of their respect for citizens' rights.
In Kaduna, Austin Anyebe, NTA News.
It's back to you, Joseph, for more on the Nationwide. Good afternoon.
Many thanks, Sulay. For the country to experience change across all spheres of lives, the citizenry should be encouraged to participate in activities that will uplift their minds and bring about spiritual rebirth. The Executive Secretary of the Nigerian Christian Pilgrim Commission, John Kennedy Okpara, said this at a special day of prayer for Ekiti State and its leadership. Michael Olale reports that the event also witnessed the winner trip to Israel promo.
Songs of praise and worship emphasizing the supremacy of God permeated the spiritual atmosphere before the commencement of a prayer session committing the nation, its leadership and Ekiti State into the hands of God. The Nigerian Christian Pilgrim Commission, with its gospel of moral transformation through pilgrimage, believe open participation through lottery is in the interest of the country. Hence, the idea of win a trip to Israel, which the Executive Secretary said would relieve government of financial burden. It told Christians to follow religious doctrine that will sustain the peace of the nation.
There's no way Nigeria can change unless the individual living in the country change. Change cannot be a slogan forever. It has to be a reality. And that's why we emphasize that there's a need for every one of us to have a divine encounter. Having a divine encounter is an opportunity that God gives to us when we go to the Holy Land to say this is the place where Jesus walked.
Ekiti State Government, affiliated agencies and concerned groups view the promo as a spiritual intervention for Christians who are financially poor but spiritually rich.
We will ensure that winning for Israel is run transparently, which is our core duty, and operated with spiritual integrity, with the support of all the indigenous of this state.
In the past, people have tried to abuse the process, but with the NCPC, with the Lottery Commission, I believe there is nothing to worry about.
Climax of the special session for prophetic declaration for Ekiti State also featured the raffle draw of the winner trip to Israel promo, where 4 lucky winners emerged in Ado-Ekiti. Michael Ale, NT News.
Governor Wike tasks traditional rulers on insecurity. Ogwa is standing by in our Port Harcourt Network Center with details of these and other stories. Ogwa, it's over to you.
Hello, Joseph. Welcome to Port Harcourt. The Nigerian Navy in Port Harcourt has arrested 6 suspects in connection with the storage of over 1 million liters of illegally refined product suspected to be diesel. Emmanuel Lene reports that the product was uncovered in an abandoned jetty in Ogbogoro, Obiakpo local government area of Rivers State.
The products, estimated at about 1 million liters, were brought in different Cotonou boats, offloaded and stored in makeshift warehouses from where they were distributed. The products were stored in various categories of drums numbering over 300, while others were sealed in nylon bags. Other items seized from the suspects include 7 pumping machines used for their operation. Commander NNS Pathfinder Commodore Sanusi Kashim Ibrahim said the illegal warehouse was uncovered following a tip-off, stressing the determination of the Navy to reduce the menace of illegal bunkering activities to its minimum.
I want to say that yards like this might have been abandoned for a very long time. I will call on the government of the state or federal government or whoever has this place to see how this place can be given to people who can carry out legitimate businesses.
The suspects have been detained and will be handed over to prosecution agencies for trial. In Port Harcourt, Emmanuel Lene, NTA News.
And traditional rulers in Rivers State have again been enjoined to always promote peace and tackle insecurity in their various domains. Governor Nyesom Wike gave the charge while addressing the state's Council of Traditional Rulers in Port Harcourt. Ogedinyekwe completes the story.
The meeting was an opportunity for the governor and the traditional rulers to discuss critical issues, especially insecurity in the state. Governor Wike noted that the support of the traditional rulers is important towards the development of the state. He condemned the increasing rate of cultism and criminality in various communities, urging them to evolve strategies to curb them, while assuring of his administration's necessary support.
Our mission in government is to build a state that will be a bank for our people, a beacon of hope and opportunity for our youth, and a shelter of support for the aged and vulnerable.
Council Chairman King Dandison Jaja regretted the loss of lives recorded during the rerun National and State Assembly elections. Despite all the warnings in the media, he called on politicians to maintain peace and pursue their grievances within the ambit of the law. The chairman enjoined fellow traditional rulers to promote peace in their various domains, while suggesting the need for a security seminar for traditional rulers in the state. In Port Harcourt, Ogedinyekwe, NTA News.
Well, Joseph, that's our beat from Port Harcourt. Back to you now for the rest of Nationwide. Good afternoon.
Many thanks, Ogwa. It's high time we updated you with news in the world of sports, where the Minister of Youth and Sports Development moves to reconcile warring members of the football family with Russia, hoping to be part of Rio 2016 Olympics. Amanzi Marcus tells us more.
The Ministry of Youth and Sports Development has constituted a 7-member committee to reconcile members of the Nigerian football family. President of the Nigeria Football Association between 2002 and 2006, Ibrahim Galadima, is chairman of the committee that has 7 days to submit its report. Solomon Dalung, Minister of Youth and Sports Development, urged the committee members to restore peace, especially now that Chris Giwa, owner of Giwa FC, is challenging legitimacy of the NFF board led by Ama Jupenik. The Confederation of African Football says Kenya is out of the race to be at the 2017 Africa Under-20 Championship in Zambia. The competition's organizing committee says Kenya used 5 overaged players born in 1996 against the rule, which accepts players born on 1st January 1997 or after. Since all the 5 players featured in the first-round first-leg clash on the 3rd of April against Sudan, Sudan automatically qualifies to the second round of the qualifiers, and the Football Federation of Kenya has 3 days to appeal to the CAF Appeal Board if not satisfied with the decision. In a related development, Kenya's world-beaten Rugby Sevens team returned to Nairobi to a heroic welcome as thousands were at the Jomo Kenyatta Airport following their historic performance at the Singapore World Series on Sunday. The victorious team made history by winning the Men Cup for the first time after defeating Fiji.
We did everything as we have been doing every time, but the only thing that this time we executed everything at 100%. And we got the result, and here's the trophy for it.
All Russian athletes intending to compete at the Rio 2016 Olympics in Brazil are to undergo a minimum of 3 independent anti-doping control measures to be conducted by IAAF, and this in addition to existing anti-doping control measures. Russia's Athletics Federation was suspended by the International Association of Athletics Federations in November 2015, and the country will know by June whether her athletes can compete at the Rio 2016 Olympics in Brazil. With Sports News Update, Amanzi Marcus, NTA News.
And that's all we have time for on NTA Nationwide. Thank you very much indeed for your company. I'm Joseph Johnson. Bye-bye.